Did you teach yourself? What did you go to school for?
I taught myself. My father was an artist, and his mother an artist. But I went to American Academy of Arts, pretty much every discipline and all this stuff.
Cool. Is that a high school level school or post
College.
Right.
Yeah.
Here in Chicago?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, and looking good, sounding good. And so B, we are rolling.
We're here with Max Sansing, fine artist from Chicago, Illinois. What's going on, sir?
What's up, man?
Man, I appreciate your time. Hey, man, I just want to, quickly get into and get your take on, the art scene in Chicago. Maybe if you can touch on, what your personal experience is as far as where you started out and take us up to what you're doing today.
Well, I started out just like any other kid that was an artist. I grew up drawing, and I drew and I played sports when I was younger, and after a while it didn't grow any bigger, so I had to kind of give up the sports, and I kind of took drawing on as full time. And when I was younger, I kind of got influenced with the graffiti culture. And I think when I was like a freshman in high school, I got to my first graffiti crew, and the whole hip hop scene around the mid '90s in Chicago, definitely in the Hyde Park area, was like a real big thing. And I met a lot of different people. It kind of like took me out of my own neighborhood, and I got to meet different people from around the city and different art forms and stuff. And from there, I just went and decided I want to do art as a full-time thing. And I went on and I went to college, went to American Academy of Art downtown. And I went there for 2 years, and I pretty much got enough skills that basically I use today in my art career, where, it gave me kind of like the structure of just doing things on a professional scale.
Okay.
And so I've just been working as a full-time artist ever since.
How would you categorize, and I know everybody has categories, how would you, I guess, compare fine art from Chicago, from artists in Chicago, to other parts of the country or the world?
I think in Chicago, since it's such like a unique atmosphere where you have people who have been established, and it's kind of harder to get yourself out there as a new name, because everybody has like co-sign for you and say, oh yeah, this guy's great, instead of like, oh, this guy's great off his own merit, so in that sense it's kind of hard to kind of break through. But I think after a while, when you kind of have your tenure going, it kind of shows through.
Right. Who were some of the artistic influences before you that kind of influenced you and led you that way? Were there people that you followed or really liked their stuff when you were coming up?
Well, when I was young, like I said, my father was an artist, and he was a big time influence on me. He was influenced by Norman Rockwell's painting and Archibald J. Motley. And where I grew up at over in Avalon Park, not too far from where I stayed on Stony Island, there's a mural on the Regal Theater, and Charles White, one of the founding artists who's in an art group called Chicago Public Art Group that I was in, he painted that mural. I grew up looking at that mural, and I loved it. Like, I've been trying to emulate it, and I do murals around the city now, and it's kind of like the gold standard for me to kind of like kind of live up to that standard.
Right.